Vibe 105.
Vibe 105 is DJ Hotshot, Apollo P, and Ada O, and it's time for What's the Report.
What's the report? Trending topics on Vibe 105.
This past week, Wiz Khalifa faced some backlash during his trip to Colombia. On this trip, Wiz Khalifa visited the grave of the notorious drug kingpin Pablo Escobar and took a couple of photos, one of which showed Khalifa placing flowers on Pablo Escobar's grave. This outraged many Colombians who felt that it was disrespectful for Wiz Khalifa to pay respects to a murderer whose cartel was responsible for over 4,000 deaths. Now, for me, that raises the question on why is it that hip-hop celebrates the bad guy?
To be honest, I want to say other things. I want to say like this is just regular, everyday ignorance.
Okay.
But for the sake of the conversation, I'm just going to say that they're missing a father figure and they're really searching for someone to look at and model themselves after. But in actuality, it's just ignorance.
I recently watched Scarface for the first time. Now, being an adult male now watching Scarface, I guess I have a different perspective on it because you watch this guy who came from nothing. He was a refugee from Cuba. Started out working as a dishwasher and eventually became this drug kingpin in Miami, Florida. And for me, looking at the movie, I watched him basically throw it away. I'm not gonna spoil the movie for everyone, but he throws it away. He goes out shooting.
Sorry, the movie's been out for almost 20 years. Come on, spoil the movie. Spoil the movie.
I mean, all right. So you see him go out with a bang. He goes out shooting. He dies due to severing ties. His whole family falls apart as a result of his actions. And I'm like, how can people celebrate this man as if he's a real person? I almost thought Tony Montana was a real guy based on the way hip hop celebrates him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually thought he was real too until I realized that this is a fictitious character. It has nothing to do with reality.
It's almost crazy how people you hear songs where they reference Tony Montana. Jay-Z had many Scarface I believe in every album he has a Scarface reference, which is crazy. I think people need someone to point out and say, look at what happened in the end. The end goal was he was getting pressed by the government.
Yeah.
His own friends became foes.
Yep.
His own family's falling apart.
Yep.
And he's going out shooting with nothing.
Do you know what it is here? I feel like black people or black rappers just don't like John Singleton type movies. The ones that start off showing all the bad stuff but end off with a message. They want to see you do all that ignorance. Because in the movie, a man went from nothing to something and then went back down to dead. But he went out blazing. He had the cocaine and he had the machine guns blazing, but he still got. But inside, let's say a movie like Boys in the Hood, where Trey goes off to college and
that's whack.
And Doughboy ends up going to jail because he killed someone.
Doughboy dies.
Doughboy dies
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. No, that's not fun. Doughboy didn't go out swinging.
You know what? First of all, let's just comment on Trey. I do agree saying that, for some reason, me seeing Trey get out the car and ended up going to Morehouse, I thought that was whack. I personally thought it was whack. I have arguments with friends over that.
Yeah, that was
He was supposed to ride for his best friend and he didn't ride, but he ended up living in the long run.
The only way I'm gonna retort and say he wasn't built like that, my guy.
He really wasn't, but
built.
That's your best friend just got shot and killed and you've seen it happen. You know who did it.
He didn't want to perpetuate the violence. His father taught him, right? Because
he had a father.
He had a father in his life.
He did.
Clearly, the guys that he was going to try to ride with had no fathers. They were hanging on their mother's porch.
Yup.
One had a pacifier in his mouth all the time.
The wheelchair dude was down the ride.
Yeah, you shout to him because that's how he got in the wheelchair.
He ain't got nothing to lose.
That's exactly what it is. But going back to the conversation I actually want to end it off here. This is just typical ignorance perpetuated in rap music, and we don't need more of it. But hey, it's for entertainment, right?
Hey, that's a fact. You guys let us know what you think on the conversation. The number to dial is 416-736-5656. Up next, we have some Canadian content. This is the A-Team on Vibe 105.